Good evening, everyone. Just a little bit of housekeeping, and I'm sure it's done in the meeting before. We're not expecting any fire alarms through this meeting, so if the alarm does go off, please treat it as the real thing and exit the building via the front doors, the doors inside me, or the doors behind me. And that's that. So we'll go on to apologies for absence.
Sorry, we have got, I think, just Councillor Dalton.
Yeah, okay. Oh, well. Item 3, declarations of interests. Are there any members that feel they have any declarations of interest? Councillor Dale.
710. It's not my car park, but my name is on there.
Yeah.
So I think I ought to
6. Oh, is it 6?
request for lining on Pavilion End, but it's not mine, it's the
Oh,
town
okay.
council's
Yeah.
car
Yeah,
park.
yeah. Okay, cool.
So, it says from the bottom.
10. Yeah, review. No, that's the
It's
pre-sale.
No, I haven't got that.
Well, I have.
Which one are you
Space
looking at there?
agenda.
Oh, no, no, no.
28th of
We're
February.
GPing it.
Oh, sorry, God, I'm
No,
sorry.
that's okay. You had me thinking I was going
I'm
crazy
jumping,
then
I'm
for a minute.
jumping ahead. I'll sit back and relax
It's been
now.
one. It's been one of those weekends.
Relax now.
Yeah, you had me
Yeah.
second guessing myself then.
Sorry, apologies.
That's okay. So Councillor Dale will put a pin in that till the next meeting. Anyone else? No?
Just
Okay.
upset you.
No, that's okay. Item 4, public participation. We'll have 10 minutes if there's any members of the public that would like to speak. No?
Hang on. I'll do it the second half, I've got anything, sorry.
I haven't.
Yeah, I'm 13.
Oh yeah, it's on the back. There it is. Okay, that's cool. Item 5 then, minutes of the meeting dated the 17th of March. Hopefully everybody's read them and gone through them. I didn't have anything. Councillor Taylor. And a seconder, Councillor Thwaites. Is that everybody in favour? Unanimous. Item 6, Renault car park. Can Attleborough Day Centre park their vehicle on there when not in use?
It's a big car park.
It is a big car park, but we have lots of clubs and groups. So do any members have any?
I'm going to go back to the old, if you do it for one, you got to do it for them all.
Yeah.
I'm afraid, so it would have very polite, not on this occasion, I think.
Can it be that maybe we just look at just maybe in the interim while they find somewhere else? Because they have
Yeah.
quite a big car park of the, oh no, the day centre is
Yeah.
behind the church, isn't
Yes,
it? Not the
yeah.
hub.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you've got an alternative suggestion, then yeah, let's go with it.
That's what I'm thinking. They do have a small car park at the church, don't they? It is a small car park.
Yeah. Well, you could give them just a period of time and then see how they go and then review it in 3 months or something.
I'm not saying
It's a
anymore.
difficult one.
It is very difficult because we do have lots of organisations in the community that could want a large vehicle parking
Yeah,
somewhere.
Yeah.
Councillor Taylor.
Is there a reason that it's not parked in the church grounds? Because the day centre operates at St Mary's.
Yeah.
But
Is it an organisation of the church?
Well,
though?
apparently it was in the Independence Matters
Matters car
site,
park, yeah.
but they've had issues with the vehicle being damaged, so they want to put it in a place where it's safer. So they were, that's where they were keeping it.
I'm just at a loss why it's the other end, like why they,
Yeah.
I know the car park there is small, but
Yeah.
but what is the alternative as
The
well?
alternative is perhaps that we try and help them find somewhere. I can actively try and work with Megan to try and find somewhere for them to park.
So I get what Councillor Thwaites saying, and I'm a great one for not setting a precedent, because I think once we do that, then we can't say no to other people. So how would members feel of giving them a 3-month period, and in that 3 months, the clerk works with our joint officer to try and find them a more permanent solution?
And after 3 months?
They'll have to,
But if
Go to the
if we're
church.
going to set a precedent to say that you can have 3 months, we have to be prepared to then say it to anybody else who comes, with that in mind. But after 3 months, if they haven't found anywhere, I wouldn't be minded to extend it.
I mean, the intention though is, so the town hall car park is obviously, like, with really clearly, you know, so it's for users of the town hall, for the staff at the town hall, for anyone that's coming into our council offices, basically, hirers or, you know, for meetings or otherwise. And there's obviously limited parking. Now, the Vono car park, obviously there's allocations for the Bolts Club. There's allocations intended for users of the Vono building and users of the Scout building. The rest of the car park is a public car park for the public. Like down the line, we're looking at introducing car park charging there. But at present, it is just a public car park. So actually,
Although we put signage up says
Private,
private.
yeah.
It's
well,
private,
it
yeah.
does.
It's privately owned.
It's privately owned, but the intention is that it is a car park that's going to be used by the public
for a fee.
for a fee.
So are you
So-
suggesting
so-
we charge the day centre to park there?
Well, no, I'm saying that they could park there in the interim, and then once a charge becomes applicable, if they want to continue to park there, then they have to pay the charge like everyone else.
3 months tops. You're opening the floodgates if you do it.
But
Do-
then
do
it's
this.
open, so other people are parking there
People are already
anyway, because
parking
there's
there
nothing to
now.
stop them.
Well, why aren't they going
Yeah,
to
but it's
stop?
not as
being
bad as it
funny.
used to be.
No, it's not as bad. as
It's
that.
not.
If we're not running it as we said we were going to, that's our fault, it's not other people's fault. We either lock it and go, that's it, you've got your spaces, or we'll open it up and let free for all. Can't have it both ways. What's your preference?
We could, what about peppercorn rent for a space?
Not offer them a permit or something.
Yeah.
Again, then
But again,
is
then
that
you're getting
compromise?
into then you're getting into, if you apply it to one, you've got to apply it to
Yeah.
all.
Any car park, we've got our name on,
Consistency.
that one, whichever one it is. Soon as you open it, you're going to have more knocking on the door.
Yeah,
You have to be aware of that.
we have to be consistent.
So councillor Thwaites has said 3 months. I've said while the clerk works with Megan to find a more permanent solution. How do members feel?
Is that achievable within 3 months?
Well, from the correspondence, they've already looked at, you know, a variety of solutions, including like the police station and other locations. If they've not been able to secure one yet, I'm not convinced at all they're going to be able to secure one going forwards. I just think the car park is open daily. Anyone is able to park there.
Yeah.
They've had the decency to ask, but they could just be parking there and we wouldn't know anything of it. So I just think as and when charging becomes applicable, they would then have to fall in line and pay those fees. Until that point, unfortunately, it is a bit of a free-for-all because we're not there policing it, are we?
The second proposal is the proposal we take first, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so councillor Taylor has a proposal as the second proposal. Is there a seconder for that proposal? So,
No second.
yeah, councillor.
Oh,
Fraser.
sorry, I'm sorry. Okay. Dispose of that one first.
So would members like to take a vote on that one? 1, 2,
That's fine, yeah.
4. That is the majority. Are you abstaining? Oh, you're against?
I'm against it.
And 1. Against. Right then, we'll move on. That's the car park. Consideration of changing from market store and town hall setups.
Yes, yeah. So we kind of, with regard to the market stalls, it was just a suggestion, wasn't it, by councillor Fraser, that perhaps we might consider charging for the market stall setup, being as we don't charge for the actual hire of the space. But we do, I mean, as the markets are growing, we're giving, you know, we're spending, sometimes we've got 4 men, if it's a really large one, we've got 4 staff, if you like, helping to set up that particular market. And also, as you know, I've been working on trying to get our hirers to set up themselves as best they can or pay, which is in the hire agreement. So we wondered whether that is something that we ought to follow suit on the market stall side of things as well.
Do any members have any comments?
Difficult. We don't need to detract from the market and make traders think twice about coming.
Is the suggestion that if they bring their own setup and they build their own setup, then it's
Still free.
free?
Yeah.
And how would that be if they were to build our setups? That if we still supplied them the stall, but they built it themselves?
Yeah. Free.
Would they be able to, just something that obviously Mr. Bills raised last time when he came,
Yeah.
about the setups and stuff. If they were to build the stalls themselves, would they be covered by, you know, any liabilities or insurances?
I mean, wouldn't they be covered under their own public liability that they have to give us anyway for trading? So what do other markets do?
I'm going to ask then, when people hire the facility here and they use our urns and stuff, they use them at our risk or their risk?
I think,
How is that covered on our insurance policy? If they electrocute themselves on the urn, is that our policy, or is it theirs because they've hired the equipment?
Surely that's go under ours as the hire.
That was where I was
Yeah.
leading.
Yeah,
So if they injured themselves putting up the stall, then I would say as it's our equipment, that would be our insurance. That was the direction I
Yes.
was.
What do the towns do we know? That's a Wyndham or Rotten or whatever.
All other towns charge.
Okay, if we were to charge, for example.
They charge for the pitches.
yeah.
They have pitch fees. I
Well,
don't know what they do in terms
Yeah.
of their own actual stalls.
Nominal fee we had in mind?
Yeah. I was just thinking the per hour thing.
What, per hour,
I
per
mean,
member of
it
staff?
is it is a nominal charge, so you would charge something like you would charge for setting up this room, maybe a nominal fee, which is not as much as that, I don't know. £8, something like that, for the service.
So say a Thursday, how long does it take to build all of the stalls for, say, like, on an average week?
It's getting more now because we're using near enough every stall, which is 10 stalls. If there's 2 of us, obviously just the amount of time it takes is how early you've got to come in the morning to make sure they're ready for them to set up.
Yeah, but our
everything
job,
else. Yeah,
it's the time, isn't it?
yeah,
Because
Couple of rolls.
inconvenience, so.
it's a couple of rolls.
So
Build all 10, if it's 2 of you.
Yes.
So an hour if it's 4 of you.
The setup and breakdown.
An hour to
No,
set up.
that's just a
Hour
setup.
setup and hour breakdown.
If it's 4 of you, yeah, that's an hour
Yeah, yeah.
set up.
Yeah.
and then to take down,
Same. If there's 4 of you.
so.
I don't like the idea of charging.
Okay.
I'm not comfortable with it.
I'm a little bit with you as well, but the reason I said this is because I want to be aware that we're now doing obviously 2 Saturdays a month, plus for every Thursday.
That's true.
And we're more expensive for us to do it. I'm not saying we should charge or we shouldn't. I'm just saying that we need to be aware that
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
getting bigger and it could be even bigger. I mean, we are trying to do that and do that
I mean,
as much as we can.
could we charge for the Saturday ones on the basis of they're outside normal hours, normal working hours? Or
The
whatever?
Saturday ones are the ones we try to sort of
Those
promote a little
are-
bit more to bring
yeah.
people in over that weekend. It's a really hard one.
And we are asking the ground staff, when we have a big setup, to come in at 7, what was it, 6:30?
6:30 normally.
6:30, we ask them to come in.
It would take up to an
An
hour,
hour
and a half.
early.
It's 10, maybe an hour and a half, and there's 3 or 4 people.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? It's just putting it on there so.
So
that-
10
you can
stalls,
have
if we charged a
conversation.
fiver, generate 50 quid, that ain't gonna cover.
That would cover 1 hour with 4 people.
It won't cover both setup and down, but it will mitigate some of the cost from the council.
Yeah. Yeah, it mitigates.
I also feel like the Makers Market, we've only had one. The Farmers Market started in November, so we've had that like 6 months. And when engaging with traders and trying to draw traders in, obviously I think a bit of a temptation to them was that we don't charge pitch fees or that we don't charge the setups.
Yeah.
So, for example, and I've not spoken to this trader, so I wouldn't know, but Norfolk Veg Box that come to the farmers market, their produce is so reasonably priced. I feel like to them, like that pitch fee, I mean, I couldn't even imagine like what they actually take on a day. But what I'm just saying is like when they've got their produce and it's, you know, it is a really fair, reasonable amount. Like I think every penny, like, I mean, they should be able to keep, like,
What is the actual cost for us to keep doing this? How much is it costing us to do this?
Well, it's costing
About
us.
120 quid,
Yeah.
roughly, £100.
A pot?
Yeah, £100 a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Councillor Bertram, do you have any comments or anything you'd like to add?
Not as thank you.
Well, I think the general concession is that,
NO.
yeah, I just think, obviously, as a council, we are supposed to help facilitate stuff like the markets, so. Councillor Taylor, did you have any?
well, yeah, no, I think that is the point that I was just going to make is that when, you know, we've made this big thing in the last year that we're re-establishing ourselves as a market town. Next year is our 800th anniversary of being a market town. And I think a lot of work has gone into growing the market. I think to now change anything at this point that might do into it or damage it in any way, you don't know until or engage the traders first and just say, you know, how would you feel about, you know, a £5 or a £10 charge for the setup, or like, do you know what I mean, if you're having a setup, and just have a conversation with them. I mean, a lot of our regular traders we have a very good rapport with anyway. But I don't think it would be right to make the decision before engaging them.
And
And
like
I-
you say, a little bit premature.
But
as well.
but I just also feel like, as much as it would be nice, because obviously there is a, you know, the time going into the setups is much more than it was prior. That what have we got to show for it though? A beautiful thriving market in the heart of our town every week for, you know, the whole community to enjoy. So when you put it into context.
I more wanted to agree with Councillor Taylor on that. I think we should at least have the conversation.
Yeah.
And so if we do at some point decide to drop this, it doesn't come as a horrible shock.
Yeah.
So is that the general feeling that we'll have a chat with the traders and put a pin in this to a later
I
date?
think we should.
Is that everyone?
I don't think that's unreasonable.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the majority then
Yeah.
that will, do you want a proposal or you
Yeah,
just,
that's fine.
you did say for resolution?
Oh,
Okay then, so councillor Taylor proposed, councillor Thwaites second, and everyone was happy with that.
Yeah.
Great, and then we're going to note the income and expenditure for 24-20.
Before we move on, there was also the town hall setups as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I think
was.
that was off the back of
Yes,
Mr.
it was.
Bills's points in public participation at the last meeting, but I think Sharon
Well,
has
for the
found
last
a happy
couple of
medium on
weeks,
that.
he hasn't actually come and said he's unhappy with how it's, because we came up with an idea that because it's Meet Up Mondays, it follows the Sunday cafe.
Mm.
And we have just kept the setup as it was rather than take it down. And obviously he's not here, but I assume he's okay with that because for the last 2 weeks he hasn't come up to complain, so.
So shall we
Could be,
contact him and
Yeah.
ask him if he's
Yeah.
happy with that? Because that setup then is,
Getting seems sensible.
Yeah.
It's working. I don't know why it's
Is
working.
it? Oh, that's good.
It makes sense not to take it down.
Yeah.
well, then let's
I agree.
not fix it if it's not broken.
That's very well.
There we go. To note the income and expenditure for 24-25. Has everyone looked at the figures in the back? Sharon, have you got anything to add?
not really, no, it's good question. I'm actually
Well, then we'll,
looking at, we've got an unspent of 76,000, which I'm going to be looking at soon once we've got the end of the year done. So maybe environment.
London Road, could some of it be?
Well, Lomond Road's covered now.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
I've got to give some thoughts to the other two play areas, but that's on open spaces. So,
Okay,
yeah.
great. Thanks then. That's all noted. To note the risk register and risk policy. Everyone happy? Did they all have do you have any comments you'd like to add, Sharon?
No, I think that's not for resolution, is it?
No, it's just for
yeah.
information. No one picked anything up. That's great. And item 10, to review all fees except those from the precept. Sharon, I'll let you lead.
Pardon me. Yeah. Just make sure we haven't. Right, yeah, those are all the rules. So I just had to put these on because on our terms of reference, it does say that we should annually review everything. I know that we did scrutinise the town hall bookings and the Bono bookings, which obviously haven't had a whole year, but put them on for good measure. So that we do that before we then have our annual meeting each year. And then we've got the allotment plot fees, which I believe were probably this time last year, maybe a little bit later.
Reviewed
Anyway, so they have already had a 10% rise.
They've had what, last year when it was,
Yeah,
is everyone happy to leave that then how it was? They had a 10% rise 12 months ago.
yeah,
I would be comfortable with that.
Yeah, that's great then.
good, yeah. So, yeah, I am happy. I mean, if you don't want to make any changes, that's absolutely fine. I didn't really intend to ask for any.
No.
Councillor Taylor,
Proposal to approve as presented.
Councillor Thwaites, and everyone's happy with that?
Yeah.
Great. And then we have feedback on the Thursday farmers and makers markets.
We've had a bit of
So,
feedback on
yeah,
that.
so it's the feedback on all, the Thursday farmers and the makers markets. Everybody happy? That was for consideration and resolution. I don't feel that we need to
No,
consider.
I think
and
I'm just
vote.
put on because of the, yeah, just because it's on terms of reference.
Okay. Training update for councillors.
Yeah, just to note that on the DBS side of things, Councillor Ashby, Councillor D'Souza, Councillor Fraser and Councillor Thwaites have put themselves forward, so I'll be furthering that. And yourself on
Yeah.
DBS?
I had also,
Had you?
Yeah, sorry,
Okay,
Sharon.
Sorry, yeah, okay. Well, that's fine. And then food hygiene, myself, Councillor Westby and Councillor T Taylor and Councillor S Taylor have already had the link to that.
Yeah, we've got the link.
So you can do
And so
that.
if you haven't, you missed it.
Yeah,
I've got
yeah, it's a 6-hour course roughly, and yeah.
Brains for you.
So yeah, you have to sort of allocate some time. And just to say that if the council, I'm in two minds as to whether to get councillors to do like a collective first aid course, because we can do. We've had the staff here in the town hall have gone on Thursday, apart from me, and I was off that day. But also, when we have a big event, we would actually be getting a first aid company in, which is much safer. And it's actually well needed, wasn't it, when we had the cinema? So is it necessary to have you all go on? That would cost £729 to the public.
Well, I suppose you could always
Six
argue that
delegates.
someone could have a heart attack while we were in a council
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah,
There's also the fact that if we're doing the community cafe or
Yeah.
anything along those lines,
yeah,
when there's only
yeah.
us here, if you
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't know one end of a sticky
Yeah.
pad from another in case it put anything on anybody.
Most defibrillators now come foolproof. They talk you through what you need to do if we don't have a defib here, so in like for this building.
Yeah.
But
But I can organise
I
it, no problem.
put it to members, see how many people sign up. Is
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, that's
is
fine.
everyone
Yeah, and I
happy
can
with that?
organise
Or
it.
verse that, I don't think it's a bad idea. A
I
couple
don't,
of us
I
maybe
don't
have
think
it.
it's, I
Yeah.
don't think it's a bad
No.
idea, because the truth is, anyone could have an incident at any
Exactly.
time when we've got members of the public in the
Yeah.
building, even like sometimes when we're in on a Thursday, people
You
come
never
in, if
know.
we do a cancer surgery, people come in, so.
You never know.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I could do that then, yeah.
Okay, if everyone's happy with that, then Sharon's gonna action that, so was that your proposal, councillor Thwaites?
Yes.
Yep, seconder,
Yeah.
councillor Fraser, and everyone happy for Sharon to put that to members?
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
and then we've got second public participation.
Yes, please. Point 6 was about the Bono car park and the day centre car park. Two little things is, have they explained why they can't? I gather they didn't explain why they can't park it round the church. Is it worth asking that question of them? And also, if you're allowing them, I know you said the public can park on the Bono car park, but if they're parking there with our permission, I go back to this lovely word, are they covered by our insurance or are they covered by their insurance? And if it was being damaged down at the other building, what's going to stop it being damaged on that car park?
That's a very fair point.
We do have CCTV that
We
covers
have
the car park.
CCTV that does
Yeah.
cover the Bono, but also, even though you might even put up signage that says, we don't accept any liability, you do have to be fairly responsible.
Yeah,
So
this
that
is
if
what I was
obviously a car
wondering.
gets damaged through the negligence of the town council, you still, even though that sign, you think that
My
will get you
understanding, my
out.
understanding is that sign holds no water whatsoever.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
This is what I'm
exactly.
saying, I didn't want you to sort of get caught out
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that side of it because
yeah,
we're allowing, or you're allowing it.
yeah.
Anyway, just a thought. Point 7 about the market. Has footfall increased on Thursdays now in town and also with the two Saturday markets, has footfall increased? Do we know? Yeah,
Well, we haven't got all the data from the football counters. They've only just gone up,
yeah.
and I've only just had the link. So again,
The
I've got to- yeah.
difficult thing is going to be that the footfall, I mean, they'll probably pick up like the summer trade, but
yeah,
because the footfall counters have only gone in since the markets have improved, you're not really going to get a true reflection of, you know, prior to the markets being successful to now. This week, this Saturday was quite quiet for the Makers Market, the one just in the week before last, sorry. But it was Easter bank holiday weekend, so people are all over the place, aren't they? But I do think that particularly the farmers market and our Thursday markets, the footfall, particularly through the square, it seems very busy, to the point where, you know, some of our traders are packing up and going home because they've sold out. So, yes, it's been quite good.
Yeah.
One of them was like just gone 12 and they were packed up and gone and sold out
Yeah.
this week. I know one of the businesses in the town centre has commented that they've felt that they've been slightly busier, but whether that's the same for others, who knows?
No, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Councillor Dowd.
Is there any reason why we don't get the agenda sent to this meeting? I know if you're not on it, you can't come, but it is nice to know what is actually happening.
Maybe we can have some spares, mind you, there's that council room.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's on the website.
I think what you mean is.
No,
to be
I
sent
mean
in
when the
advance.
agenda is sent out.
Yeah.
So
Although
you
it is
can
on the
actually look at
website,
something.
dear.
It's on the
We
website,
post it on the
yeah.
website.
Look on the
Is there any
website.
reason why everyone can't be round robin in? I know before it was.
I think it gets
Then
confusing.
you get lots of people who think on committee turn up at meetings and then everybody gets
It's a bit muddling,
confused.
yeah.
I think as well from memory, because it used to go out to everyone, didn't it? All agendas
Yeah.
used to
Yes,
go out
they used
to
to, you had,
all
yeah.
councillors, but I
Yes, you
actually
did.
think, I can't remember, I want to say it was possibly Councillor Tyler, but it was somebody said, oh, well, you know, like I'm getting all of this paperwork, all of this stuff for
Yeah.
meetings that I'm not a
Yeah.
part of, and it was then put to council
You know,
to only send the agendas and papers to the members of those committees.
well, you know what committees you're on,
Mm.
you know, so.
People don't go there. They don't.
Sorry?
They get confused. If I only send out a planning to everybody, then you'll get councillors think that they've got to come to the planning. It is very complicated. As I say, they'll put up on the website.
You're joking.
What, you don't look at our website?
You know how I love, you know, I can manage the
Technology.
agendas and that, but you know, I just feel councillors miss out. I really do. If you don't know what's happening. I mean, if I didn't sit at this meeting, I wouldn't know half of what was going on. Although I'm not a member, I'm nosy.
Oh, here's an idea. In years gone by, we used to have the minutes from each of the committees, not agreed at the committee, but actually agreed at the full council. What we could do is,
Well, they were noted, but they used to go out. They were still agreed at the meeting, but they were always in the full council pack.
well, if we do that, then everyone gets a copy of the minutes.
Just the minutes.
Just the minutes, and then everyone has the opportunity to read the minutes because they go out in the full council meeting papers.
Yeah, but you're saying, Vera, that you want to know what's coming up on the.
Yes, I do, because if there's
Yeah.
something I really feel strongly about, then I need to speak to the chairman of the committee and bring it to their attention.
Why don't you sit on the planning committee?
Sorry?
Why don't you sit on the planning committee?
Well, any
She does sit on the
committee.
I
planning
do sit
committee.
on the planning committee.
But you stay for this
I
meeting,
stay
so you
for
may
this
as well sit on
meeting.
this one as
Yeah.
well
Oh,
then,
you
councillor
don't
Dow.
other meetings?
I'm not at this, I'm not a member of this
Oh,
meeting.
all around the agendas.
I'm just nosy, Anne. I like to know what's happening.
So it goes both ways, Vera, because you confuse me when you sit there.
Yeah, and me.
Oh, no, I do
Put your
stop my
hand up.
arms.
Especially when you declare an interest.
I do put my arms.
It's gender.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from though, councillor Dow, because I'm a bit of a technophobe. Someone actually made a comment this week on how potentially, maybe I was savvy, and I'm definitely not. My children do all my tech for me. Right, if that's everything, are there any items for the next agenda?
Just the usual.
Just the usual, right.
Yeah, thank you.
Very
Let
much.
me tell you what the usual ones are.
All them ones that keep rolling over.